The HMCS Haida is one of a kind warp ship. She was very important to the Canadian Navy. Now she is a proud part of Canadian history on display in Hamilton Harbor.
They started to build it 1941, and it was finished and ready to go as a working warship in 1943. The total assembly time was 22 months. 10 months for the hull, 12 months to fit it out and do the sea trials. And it served in the Canadian Navy from 1943 until October the 11th, 1963.
Life as a sailor aboard the Haida was an adventure. Over 200 sailors worked, ate, and slept together during her service in the Canadian Navy.
Okay, Second World War crew was approximately 245. To Korea in 1952, it had dropped down to 225. The reason for the change is change in equipment. It didn't take as many people to operate the equipment as it went to Korea. We had one less gun.
Haida is a tribal class destroyer, and during World War II, she was the most advanced ship on her time in terms of her engines and weapons.
Right now, we have on the front end of the ship, we have two twin 4-inch high elevation guns. And by high elevations means they can go up to an elevation of 85 degrees. Yeah, it's just short of 90. They can't point straight up. Those guns have a range of 8 nautical miles. 350?
Yeah.
That is an American-made gun. It fires at a muzzle velocity of 2,850 feet per second. Can fire 40 rounds a minute per barrel, and is radar controlled. It was primarily an anti-aircraft weapon, although it could be used for surface. But because it fires so many bullets so quick, and that is quite capable of taking on an aircraft doing between 450 and 500 knots. Okay, that is a anti-submarine weapon developed basically around 1944 in England. It is a head-throwing weapon. It throws a 400-pound bomb over the top of the mast and lands 800 meters or 800 yards ahead of the ship. No meters in this thing. Yeah, it clears the top of the mast by about 30 feet. And the first time you see it, you think, this isn't going to work. I was on a newer ship that had a more elaborate version of the same gimmick, yeah, and now you weren't allowed on the upper decks when this going, because just in case something did go wrong. But you're watching some other ship fire this thing and you think, this is just not good.
Haida fought on 3 different fronts. She had an important role in World War I, II, and the Korean War.